All right, so good morning and welcome to our discussion. Our topic is writing task 2, particularly the open-ended type. So last night, there were a couple of students who sent me messages regarding coaches who speak in Tagalog. So Ma'am Shannon and I obviously are guilty when it comes to talking to our students simply because we understand that they cannot grasp the information that we are sharing. That's why we have to reiterate that to inculcate the information deep in their minds by translating it with our native tongue, which is Filipino. Now, for those students who are foreigners, because obviously we have students who are from abroad, particularly those two students I've mentioned, this will serve as our apologies to those candidates who are expecting us to speak Filipino through and through. But we will be still somehow double tapping, which means I'll be mentioning an information. And if I think, Ma'am Shannon thinks that our students are not picking the information up, probably because we're using some analogies here and there, I will be translating it with the same sentence. For example, the neighbor's dog barks loudly at night and my student cannot understand. I'm just going to say that ang ingay ng aso sa kapitbahay, which literally translates on the same sentence I just mentioned. So, for starters, for those candidates who cannot understand Filipino language, don't worry, you're not missing out on anything. Sometimes we're just having fun. Sometimes we're just blabbering in our native language. But don't worry, when we provide information, when we do lectures, when we conduct classes like this one, we will ensure that no important lessons will be mentioned in Filipino. They will always be in English. So, again, it's not actually the fault of the candidates. Gusto kong ibaling yung sisi sa mga Filipinos. I want to give the blame to candidates, to you. Kasi po tayo na, salita dito, nakatulala lang kayo eh. Di ba? So, that's the reason why sometimes we cannot help ourselves. But, hey, why are you just staring blankly at the ceiling? Aren't you understanding the concept? That's the time when we butt in and translate the information in native tongue. And sometimes, that's where we get nods. That's where we get, oh, okay. That's where we got those signs that candidates are understanding the concept. So, for the solution, we will be speaking in English through and through during classes. If we still recognize that students need double taps, which means this is the information, you cannot understand it, I will translate it in our native tongue. But don't worry, for non-Filipino speakers, for our Chinese students, you're not missing out on anything. Okay? You're not missing out on anything. That's what I would like to assure you. But for the meantime, we will be speaking more in English and we will be minimizing this Filipinoisms, some Tagalog versions of our translations. So, the responsibility also is in our students. Please try and catch up, understand in English because your exam is in fucking English. Okay? So you have to listen attentively, listen with the intention of acquiring as much information as you can. You're not here to just stare blankly. You're not here to talk to your seatmates. You're not here to befriend me. You're not here to befriend us. You're here to get what you need, and that is information, and for you to pass the test. That's it. Come here, get what you want, get out. That's it. That's what we want. We don't want your faces to remain here for a long time. We don't want seeing you guys for a long time because that means you're not yet ripe for the test. You're not yet ready for it. Or perhaps you were able to take the test, but you were not able to get it the first time. So that's why you came back. So we don't want that because it simply hurts us when that happens. So particularly, I am very strict when it comes to discussing writing. No? Ma'am Shannon is our coach in speaking. She's also going to be our coach sometimes in listening, because those two lessons do not need much of being strict. And I'm very strict when it comes to discussing writing. I've been teaching this for 10 years now. And I've seen it all. I've seen people who are so good in other aspects but they fail writing. And I don't want you guys suffering the same fate, because some of our first students, the first batch of our students in 2016 took the test 7 times just before they get 7 in writing. So 7 is the most difficult exam in the IELTS. So if you compare IELTS with other English exams, we have OET, or the Occupational English Test. This is the examination where, example, you're a nurse and you want to practice your profession of nurse in the UK. So OET is an option for you because, hey, Occupational English Test, we will assess your English proficiency in relation to your profession. So this is something to do with your work. That's why it's easy. Because think about it. I've been working as a nurse. My exam is about nursing. How easy can that be, right? So it's very easy to adapt to because it has something to do with what I'm used to, correct? Okay? Now, PTE, another examination, which is for student visa, particularly student visa application and nurses who are planning to go to the US. The problem was PTE used to be an easy test. Like, you just have to attend my orientation right now. As in, orientation lang. You just have to attend my orientation. Take PTE the following day, you'll pass. That's how easy PTE used to be. But PTE now is catching up with the difficulty of IELTS because the writing in PTE is similar with the writing assessment in the IELTS. The good news about PTE in comparison with IELTS is that PTE is assessed by a computer. So naturally, when a computer assesses you, it will assess you cold-heartedly. Like, there are no in-betweens. There will be no ifs and buts. This is a mistake. This is a wrong spelling, wrongly spelled word. This is a mistake. This is a deduction off of your point. But if a human rater will be assessing you, like an examiner in IELTS particularly, then there will be factors that could play along. Like, do I connect with the topic? Does the flavor matches with what I like? Something like that. Like, trust me, when I tell you that home cooking, nothing matches home cooking. Like, you tasted kare-kare of Kuya Jay's, kare-kare of Manam, but you will tell yourself nothing beats the kare-kare that your mom cooks. Why is that? Because that is what the flavor you connect to. You're just trying to look out for the same feeling, the same flavor. And that's what we're trying to do here. We want to make sure that when you make your writing, when you do your writing, when you cook your kare-kare, it will connect to your audience, it will connect to the examiner, because that can also play as a factor in the exam. Alright? So, to be familiar with the details of the IELTS writing task 2 type/subtest, particularly type/ because type/ is otherwise known as your open-ended. Why am I shouting? I have my microphone right here. So, to be familiar with the type/ instruction and how to organize the response and to know how to approach each part of the essay. Let us remember that your writing task 2 is further subdivided into 5 categories. Your topic could be under agree-disagree. It could be discuss both views. It could be open-ended, which is exactly what my topic today is. It could be your to what extent do you agree or disagree, or do you think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? The two last instructions I've mentioned, that do you think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, and the to what extent do you agree or disagree, are the two most difficult types of questions there are in the exam. So, when I begin the cycle of my discussion, like what we did, nag-start ako ng discuss both views last week. That was the first week of August. We are at the second week of August now. almost second week. So meaning, I'll be doing 2 more major lectures in writing, content writing, and to what extent, then we're done. The following month will be your September. This will include your do you think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, your agree-disagree, and then open-ended na naman. So people will ask me, sir, what if I just jumped into your writing? I just jumped into your lessons. Where am I going to start? Where do I have to begin? There's no beginning, there's no ending. Come to class, learn, that's it. Everything is necessary. So for you to keep track of the lessons that you missed, the lessons you need to attend to pa, we will be giving you a piece of paper which we will refer to as tracking card, so that you can track the classes you already attended, the classes you need to attend pa before you take the test. So we will be making that probably by next week. We will be handing over to the students. All right? So that, hey, ano ba kailangan kong pasukan? What did I miss? What do I have to attend? Have I attended listening already? What is the lesson for reading? Because I suck at reading. Like I tried reading during mock. My target score is 6.5 and I only got 4. Right? So you are very far from your target. So you need to attend classes for that. So it will help you keep track of the classes you were able to attend and the classes you need to attend in the future, so that you can become more well-rounded candidates in preparation for your exam. So now, as an overview, this is the most difficult task in the whole IELTS subtest. You will be given an opinion here, an argument, or a problem, and you have to write an essay in response. And sometimes, the topics could be unfamiliar to us. Okay? It could be completely unfamiliar to us. Like, one candidate who I am sending messages back and forth this morning shared her questions in the exam. Okay? Shared her questions in the exam, and the question was, in the 21st century, people have more free time than ever before due to advancements in technology. That was the topic. Now, she also shared the topic of her seatmate. So after the test is done, they chattered for a bit, and her seatmate's question was about robots. Now, can you imagine that? My topic is about free time. The topic of my seatmate is about robots. The topic of my other seatmate is about environment. The topic of my other seatmate is about excessive consumerism. The topic of of the person at the back is green wave shopping. So now the question is, which questions do I know of and which questions do I have nothing about? Like, I absolutely have no idea about this question at all. So remember that your examination is random. You could be the person who can get the topic about robots. We may not know. Baka yun matapat sa'yo. Diba? So you have to ask yourself, do I have enough knowledge about this topic in the first place? That is why, as candidates, you also are responsible for the following. Number 1 is to read past examination questions. So what's the reason why we want to be acquainted with the past examination questions? Because these past examination questions, they get repeated. They get recycled. They appear and reappear on a regular basis. One time, my student in Singapore took her exam. The topic is about ebooks. The following month, that same question was asked here in the Philippines. So question gets repeated. Even the question from 2016. One topic was about traffic. Traffic. Is traffic still a problem? Still a general public interest today? Yes, it still is. But now, when it comes to understanding concept, in the past, we were talking about traffic congestion when it comes to improving the public transport system. Now, this is about how we can use unmanned vehicles like AI or software or robots will be the one driving, driverless cars. This can also be a topic. So instead of questions being just repeated, recycled word for word, like 10 years ago, the question was about credit and bank cards. Now everyone has credit and bank cards, so it's not a hot issue anymore. It evolved into online banking na. Diba? So you have to also update the list of the questions that you read. So luckily, we were able to list down those questions in your orange book. So as promised, later, once this recording is finished, I'll upload the link. Letter A, I will upload the link of this replay. B, the link of my previous replay, because again, I am talking English hardcore non-stop. So what if you miss some Tagalog blunders? So you can check out the other previous replays because they could have some Filipino terms that you may miss during this new and improved version of our discussion. Letter C, I will include the handout. So this exact same presentation I'm using, I have converted this into a PDF already. And I will include this in the link of the post later. So this handout will contain everything, so that you don't have to take photos or take screenshots of my slides anymore. You can have it. This is in PDF format, so you can access this whether you are an Android user, an iOS, a MacBook user, or a Windows device user. So this is very accessible. And then Orange Book. In the past, we used to provide Orange Book with a hard copy, but now we only provide a soft copy. So in the Orange Book, we have compiled 146 questions. I'm not saying you read all 146 questions and answer them. All I'm trying to say is that I want you to segregate which among the questions are known versus the unknown. Like question number 1, it's about excessive consumerism. It's about global economy. And I'm not really a person who understands this kind of thing. So I will tell myself, I'll put this in the unknown then. So the next question is about healthcare and education. I'm a person who is well versed when it comes to healthcare and education. So definitely I can skip that. So take note of those questions you will consider known or you already have enough knowledge about, and take note of those questions that you will consider unknown or that you think you need more improvements on because you lack ideas about them. And what are you going to do next is you will be reading. Number 2, you will be reading articles about unknown topics. For example, my question, surprise, is about green wave shopping. Like, what the hell is green wave shopping anyway? I don't know. Then, because you don't know today, you have to be thankful because luckily, all right, it's not yet your test. So what are you going to do? Search about it. What is green wave shopping? So this is a concept where people spend more money on something because they believe they are helping environment, whether directly or indirectly. So I now have an understanding of what green wave shopping. This is a trend that happens primarily in first world countries, Europe and American continent. So I will now be more equipped. So when the test comes, because I was able to read topics about those unknown ones, then I will be more prepared. I'll be more confident in facing the test head on. So read articles, but please be careful. Do not read Filipino articles, naturally, because your test is in English. That is why you have to read English, intellectual articles, newspaper, particularly the opinion, and the news section, because this is where you can get updates of the information about the topics you don't have ideas about. You can also read sports and lifestyle section from time to time, because topics about sports and lifestyle also happen. Also, they appear. So, now you will tell me, sir, are you only going to give us questions? Why aren't you going to give us answers? Well, we actually give answers. We provide answers. In the Orange Book, there are a couple of answers, but they are already outdated when it comes to formatting. So we still encourage you to read, but not to copy, not to imitate the format, because the way how to approach the topic is specifically going to be discussed in lectures like this. Now, where can I find more samples? Where can I find more answers? By the end of my discussion, you will notice that I provide you with 5, 6 samples, and then I will do a live version for the 7th time. So you can have a handful of samples to work on. So you will be acquainted with, hey, what does a typical writing task to open-ended look like, conducted by someone who is well-versed in this area. So we do that purposely for you, specifically for this matter. So read past examination questions to be acquainted with the topics. Separate the known from the unknown, and those unknown questions, read more about those topics, those issues, those information, get information about them through reading newspapers. Sir, I don't want to spend 24 pesos because, newspapers, they only work the day and they don't work the following day. Like, may bagyo ngayon, kinabukasan wala. Alright? We have a storm, we have a typhoon today, the following day, we don't have anymore. So, what I suggest is that you can read those newspapers by browsing on their website. It's free. So, you just have to scroll through those ads and skip those ads, because they have been infested with way too many ads, in my opinion. So, kindly read on those topics, because naturally, the reason why I tell you to read 146, you have to meditate on yourself. Kasi iba-iba tayo, we're built differently. Okay? Like, as I've mentioned, if topics are about economy, if topics about money, if topics are about global economy, consumerism, I'm not very well versed about that. And if topics are about healthcare and education, I'm good at those areas. Now, if we swap, like there's a person who is very well educated when it comes to global economy, because simply this person is a CPA to begin with, di ba? Tapos wala naman siya masyadong idea about healthcare and education. So basically, you are the opposite spectrum. So out of this 146 question, let's say I will have problems with 15 of them. There are people who will have problem with 46 of them. There are people who will have problems with only 5 of them. So we are built differently. That is why you have to do this on your own. Okay? And lastly, read samples. Samples, as I've mentioned, we will provide through the Orange Book. Once again, for reminders, the way how the Orange Book samples are arranged are already outdated, because 2006 pa yun. Diba? 2026 na. It's 20 years apart. So what I want you guys to do is that to just acquire how arguments are mentioned, but please do not imitate the arrangement, the formatting, because the formatting is what I will be discussing now. So even though we do not require to have a specialist knowledge, you have to be able to present ideas on general issues. topics of general public interest are what usually appear in the text. When you say topics of general public interest, they are, as I've mentioned, traffic, corruption, right? Government, education, healthcare. Environment, climate change, right? What else? Fast fashion. You know, my wife is very amazed how she can purchase like a 50 peso dress from Shein. Can you imagine with free shipping? All the way from China, 50 peso dress? How can that happen, right? But there are implications that questions will ask. What are the implications of this fast shopping? What are the implications? You need to be able to have an understanding of what's happening around you. Hindi pwedeng wala tayong pakialam sa buhay. Di ba? Flood is happening. Not just here in the Philippines, abroad. Climate change in Europe. People die because of climate change. So even though you don't have to be specialist, like you don't have to be a spokesperson of the UNICEF, you don't have to be a spokesperson of WHO for you to have an understanding about healthcare and healthcare problems of the world. You have to have at least an idea to present. It's simply like this. How can you write an essay about something if you don't know anything about it to begin with? Right? Like for example, I want to ask you to write an essay about the glucose synthesis in the liver to the person's muscles through glycogen. Can you make an essay about it? Like all I hear are nonsense. All I hear are blabbers. Or all I hear are jargons. Right? There will be people who will ask me, sir, can you write an essay about how automotive works? I don't care about that. I don't know about it. We have strengths and weaknesses, but you have to at least have an idea. That's why you have to read, and read. Make reading a habit. For you to be good, at least in writing, you have to read. Okay? So you will be assessed according to the 4 areas of the language. Task accomplishment is basically the completion of your task. So when you say completion, were you able to provide more than 250 words in your essay? So some of you will be like, 250? Di ko kaya yan. Oh. So let's imagine, paano kung di ka naka 250? So examiner will mark this under length. Oh, let's go to examiner 1. So we have examiner 1 and examiner 2. Examiner 1 is your original examiner. Examiner 2 only comes into the picture if you will avail the EOR or Enquiry on Result. I'll be posting a video about it on Monday. So if you want to learn more about EOR, recheck Enquiry on Result, check out the video that I will post on Monday. So, but it's basically, I got 6. I need 6.5. I think I am misassessed. I will have another examiner check this. I'll pay this amount of money, 6,700 pesos. Then another one will check it. If for this examiner, di ka na ulit pag-exam, babasahin na lang niya. For this examiner, it will go through. So from 6.5, you need to get 7. They will send you an email, congratulations, your score improved from 6.5 to 7. And if it does not, unfortunately, your score remained the same. That's it, that's the EOR. So task response is the completion of your test. So if it's under length, number of words is 249, look how cruel this is. It's just 1 word short, piso lang. Diba? 1 word short of your requirement, there will be a penalty of 1. So your task response will automatically receive a grade of 5. So even though you get 8 in all the other areas, So why am I using 8 as my highest mark? Because out of the 7,000 students I have coached, only 3 people got an 8. So this is a 0.0014 chance of you getting an 8. Huh? Why am I using a free meeting? Why? Flower! Andiyan ka ba? Alright, so this will be a technical problem because the one who is supposed to pay for the Zoom did not pay on time. So I'll be using my Teams. So for our 5 participants, Christian, Highness, Jomar, Robert, and Ronel. And for our replay watchers later, I'll be ending the Zoom and tune into my Teams. I'll be posting the link in a while. Okay? So let's shift to Teams now. Goodbye.